Hello everyone, today we will introduce our project Vicky's Bright Future. The contents are including introduction, establishing credibility, material, literature analysis, positive discourse analysis, material development, implementation, and reflection. This problem tackles a real problem in children's daily lives: misleading food packaging. Many snacks are labeled with phrases like zero sugar, natural or healthy choice, which sound positive, but are often weasel words. They hide the truth. These words can trick children and parents into thinking a product is healthy when it's not. So our mission is to help children see through these tricks, use tools like ShiAnAn app, and develop critical thinking about food choices. By becoming little detectives, kids can not only protect their own health, but also influence their families' eating habits. Our project aligns with the credible principles in 8 key ways. We address how misleading health labels on snacks affect Chinese children in real-life supermarket and school settings. The project doesn't start from abstract theory, but tackles a hands-on issue with practical tools, label reading, barcode scanning, and a card game. Children and teachers were directly involved in testing materials and co-creating fun, useful activities. We used real Chinese snack brands, local ingredients, and familiar language metaphors like sweetness, imposter, and sugar magician. It blends Western critical media literacy with local health beliefs, including the culturally noted assumption that natural equals safe. Our resources can be used in actual classrooms and households, encouraging kids to help parents make healthier food choices. This model is scalable and replicable, a pioneering approach to critical food literacy in early education. The content is respectful, empowering, and avoids shaming language. It frames food learning as curiosity, not fear.
Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to the material of our group. On the left side of point parts are the app we used, the scanning demo, and the game card. And then there are 3 sections in our learning kit. Firstly, a story-driven slideshow. We will show bright snack packs and ask, do these words really mean healthy? Then activate students' prior experience. Second, a live barcode scan with the ShiAnAn app. We point the camera at a yogurt labeled zero sugar. The screen flashes a red D rating, instantly exposing the mismatch between claim and reality. Third, the card game mission. Each team receives 10 snacks cards. Their task is to circle every weasel word, choose one product to scan, and pitch in 60 seconds, whether the marketing is deceptive or transparent. We finish with a take-home detective log sheet, 5 scans in the supermarket plus a short reflection, signed with parents. And next, let's focus on the teacher and the parents guidebook. Firstly, let's zoom in on the teacher sheet. We will see the first is 5-minute warm-up, learns the name snacks that sound healthy, and is 10-minute mini lecture, weasel word concepts with real packets, and is 10-minute app demo, teacher scans a product live, and then is 10-minute group task, card game, spot, rate, and justify, and is 5-minute debrief, share worst offenders. And finally is 5-minute assessment, hand out the detect log sheet. We will notice each row links to a clear purpose, from sparking curiosity to extending learning home, so even a substitute teacher can deliver the lesson with fidelity. And then, let's focus the parents. The parents let mirrors the classroom language so families can reinforce it. It explains why zero sugar or all nature claims aren't automatic green lights, and it sets a 3-step home task: inspect, scan with the ShiAnAn app and discuss scores. And there are also a no sugar wheat family challenge, with the child promoted to home nutrition inspector. That bridge can keep the behavior change from dying at the classroom door. In conclusion, all components still follow functional, interactive, and critical later. But the new teacher and parent layers add 2 key benefits. The first one is implementation quality. The step-by-step plan maintains instructional integrity. And the second one is behavior transfer. The parent guide activates real-world practice, which implementation science shows is critical for lasting impact. In short, the extended toolkit turns evidence into an ecosystem that involves teachers, students, and families alike. Okay, now let's talk about the literature analysis. So 3 findings in the literature shaped our project. The first one is health's hello terms mislead. Hall et al. Studies show that simply adding natural doubled parents intend to busy surgery fruit drinks. Second one, packaging target kids. Mehta et al. Found that 75% of front-of-pack claims on Australian children's foods appear on nutritionally poor products. And the third one is literacy gap. Thus, to Mohammedian et al. Systematic review conclude that school programs work only when they progress to critical appraisal, not just fact recall. And here's how we translated evidence into action. The first one is Nutzbeam's free-tier model, guide our slideshow scan game sequence. And the second one is mobile scanner studies show real-time scanners nudged healthier peaks, hence the live demo. And finally is positive discourse analysis, say farming learners as agents boost engagement, so we call them detectives. And implementation science recommends bridging classroom to home. Our detective log sheet meets that criterion. This is our report on material and literature analysis, followed by the next report from my group member. Thank you.
Now let's move into the positive discourse analysis. In this section, we looked at 2 successful real-world programs that inspired our design. First, the Health Star rating system in Australia is a government-led initiative that puts star rating on the front of packaged food. The purpose is to make nutrition information more visible and easier to understand, especially for customers who don't want to read fine prints. This system inspired our use of color-coded health scores in the app activity, where green means good and red signals the less healthy options. The second project is Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Program, which runs in many Australian primary schools. Here kids grow, harvest, and cook their own food. The focus is on joy, curiosity, and hands-on experience. That philosophy influenced the way we design our parent-child tasks, such as hunting for the weasel word, so learning feels active and fun. And we also analyzed our own project material using a sensory PDA framework. For example, visually, we use playful fonts, colors, and packaging images to build trust and clarity. Auditory feedback from teacher reinforces education messages, and even though we don't include taste or smell directly, the project encourages students to reflect on how certain foods are described versus how healthy they actually are. In short, our project empowers children to critically engage with food packaging through interactive, visually guided activities that promote healthy choices and media literacy. The next is material development. We follow the teaching and learning cycle, which include 4 main stages. First is building the field. We begin by helping students understand the background, such as what weasel words are and how they showed up in everyday life. Next is modeling and deconstruction. Teachers then using some examples to demonstrate how to identify these words and how to scan products using the ShiAnAn app. Joint construction. Students work in small groups in class and also after class with their parents to scan products and find misleading packaging language. And finally, independent construction. Children complete the activity on their own and reflect by filling the forms that we prepared. All of our materials were carefully aligned with this cycle. The teacher slides includes visual examples, discussion promos, and mini quizzes. The student cards help them stay focused and document what they discover. The lesson plan provides a step-by-step structure that make it easy for any teacher to implement the activity. And the parent guide extends the learning at home with snack games and reflective questions. Throughout the development, we paid special attention to age-appropriate language, playful layouts, and family engagement, so that children are not just listening, but doing, thinking, and talking about food marketing in their real life.
Okay, let me begin with the implementation. And our plan is to carry out the lesson in early July, right after the students finish their final exams. And it will take place in a multi-purpose room in the Huzhou Shanchuan Primary School in China. At this time, students will be more relaxed. And so we want to keep the lesson fun, interactive, and not too serious. And the lesson will follow a clear 5-step teaching flow. And first, we will start with a warm-up discussion to get students thinking, and then we will introduce the ideas of the weasel words, the words that make food sound healthy, but may not mean much. And after that, we will show students how to use the ShiAnAn app to scan the real food package and check their contents. And then in small groups, students will do the nutrition detective and task using the real or printed food packaging. And finally, we will guide a short discussion and give them a small task to do at home with their parents. And for this, we have asked the teacher to install the app, and we will provide example food packages and task cards for the group work and a short guide for the parents. And our goal is to help children and families think more critically about the food marketing and choices. Okay, let me briefly introduce our main material. And the session started with a warm welcome and an introduction to the weasel word, like the zero sugar or natural. That sound healthy, but may not always be true. And students are then guided to spot this weasel word on a real printed packaging. And next, the teacher introduced the helpful app called ShiAnAn, and students learn how to use it to scan the barcode on the packaging and see the honest food rating from A to D. And this adds a real-world and tech-based element to the lesson. And we also provide the live demonstration and explain some common but tricky additives like saccharin or aspartame, and using the metaphors and stories that children can understand. And after that, students complete a nutrition detective group task. Where they analyze the product, identifying the misleading words, and write down their findings. And finally, the lesson ends with a fun recap and take-home tasks, and students are encouraged to scan the snacks at home and teach their families how to spot the misleading labels. By the end of the lessons, children are not only more aware of what they eat, but they also empowered to protect their own health and help their family make smarter food choices. And now let's move on to the reflection part. And since we haven't delivered the lesson yet, and our reflection are based on the predictions and the early feedback from our collaborators. And our collaborator thinks students will enjoy being the nutrition detectives. And many children are curious and like group activities. And so this format should help them stay engaged. And also using the ShiAnAn app and the real packaging also adds the fun and real-world element to the lesson. And group work and discussion can help students learn from each other and stay active. However, we also expect some challenges. The timing is right after the final exam, so students may feel tired or too excited as their summer holiday will begin soon. And also, a few of terms on the food labels like glycerin may be too difficult for the younger students, and we will need to support them with the simple explanation examples. And in summary, we believe this lesson has a strong potential to help students become more aware of the food marketing. And the teaching learning circle gives us a useful way to test our ideas, learn from the practice, and make improvements. And this is our reference list. And that's all about our project. Thank you for listening.